Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In this analysis, I want to start by giving salutation of the day to Osborne Thomas from Uganda. Please remind me, from Kigali, Rwanda. Reached out, and of course, we just want to say thank you very much for all the others that are also supporting this channel. Yesterday, I only published 2 videos in the evening because in the afternoon, I attended a presser by Kalonzo Musyoka, an event at SKM Command Center, where Kalonzo Musyoka was launching the Women League of the Wiper Party. And of course, I had received my press card, so at least I'll be getting some time and attending these press briefings, and yeah, because now this is the moment you need to get the real information. Now, I spent some 30 minutes, only around 30 minutes there, then walked out. But there was a very short press briefing by Kalonzo Musyoka. Then, apart from all the things he spoke about, the party zoning and the nominations that are coming up, there is something that was very contentious. First, I had received intel that Azimio la Umoja had already submitted their coalition agreement to Registrar of Political Parties. Remember, the deadline for that is supposed to be on 9th April. So by Saturday, both Azimio, UDA, and any other coalition, or rather the Kenya Kwanza, and any other coalition are supposed to submit their coalition agreements. Now, that document would be made public, but of course, we realized that the one for Azimio, you did have an intel. But then what that meant is that the issue of the Runningmate is already a done deal. I am to be convinced that for that to have been done, the issue of Runningmate was already on table. So we asked Kalonzo Musyoka about the issue of the Runningmate. And because I had not been attending some of these press briefings, that was the only one that I was attending. And of course, I was not having cameras and all that. He responded by saying, he was very easy at that question and said, why are you asking the obvious? So according to him, the issue of the running mate was the obvious. And when I was just having some conversation there, we realized that we're saying that if you compare the way his mood to that day, or rather yesterday, and the previous meetings, or rather the previous media address, when he was actually giving those demands and the hard stance, he seems to be a composed man and now is now happy. So he looks like he's sad. I want to believe that Raila, I think Kalonzo attended the Raila's rally over the weekend, the one that he joined Raila in West Pokot, perhaps that was on Sunday, and I think they're also there on Monday. Now, I want to believe that perhaps this deal had been hushed. That is why he could then make his way and attend that rally. So, this is coming at a point where this week politicians are so busy. Actually, if you realized that yesterday Raila Odinga was not even in any rally, Ruto is camping at UDA for the nominations, and just a bit of what we've gathered from their end is that they have worked on they have a technical committee where Sakaja is a member of that. Not Sakaja, Kithure Kindiki, and some 2 other members, one representing Ford Kenya and the other one representing ANC. Then with them, they've worked on a deal where the technical committee is suggesting that Ruto to pick a running mate from Central Kenya, then both Mudavadi and Wetangula to take 40% of the government share. If they form the government, then Ruto, or rather the UD, will take the 60% amongst other that are there. So that is a bit of what we have gathered. I was just brushing through it. And of course, I think in the course of the day, I will do an analysis on this power sharing deal at UDA. So, it is true that Azimio la Umoja have already submitted their coalition agreement that has outlined things on nomination and bid. But I believe that for that document actually to see the light of the day, the issue of the running mate is now a sorted issue. Now, later on in the evening, we also saw, I think in the Facebook page of Alfred Mutua, that there was another meeting of Mutua, Kivutha Kibwana, and Charity Ngilu in a hotel. And I think what Alfred Mutua shared to me is what captured my attention, because he posted a very long post, and I think I'll just pick an excerpt. We discussed changes that need to be done to ensure effective campaigns and the importance of inclusivity in the ongoing political programs. Everything we do and every step we take should be driven by our love and the quest to get development for our people so as to be freed from poverty. We are committed to ensuring our people are in the next government and they will be able to reap the rewards of their daily toil under the hot tropical sun. Now, it's only Alfred Mutua who shared this post and the photos of that meeting. I checked Charity Ngilu. I did not see her posts in her social media pages. I have not checked on Kivutha Kibwana. So there is also a report that Raila Odinga are actually planning an Ukambani tour. But perhaps to make sure that it has the impact, I think they're trying to sort out and make sure that when that, because that way it was supposed to be held this week, but I've not yet checked on the latest schedule. Perhaps it will be done after, and this might be maybe next week or before the nominations. But before that is done, the unveiling of the running mate will be done officially. Now, these governors were meeting on this because one thing that has been so contentious, Kalonzo had mentioned that he will not be willing to share podium or share stage with these three governors. So, and he also have another beef with Charity Ngilu on the issue of the Kitui gubernatorial seat, which Charity Ngilu wants to defend, and I think Kalonzo also wants to field a candidate through Wiper. So all this had been on table. So I want to believe that the meeting by the three governors was just to make sure that things are ironed out, and now the campaigns are now going to be seamless. If you are keen, you will realize that Raila Odinga has been skipping the rallies in central Kenya. In fact, can you go and check out after the US tour, has he gone to, he actually went to Meru. After going to Meru, these other parts of Kiambu, Nyeri, Laikipia and other parts, I think he has not gone there. And you realize that now his activities in this other part has gone down. We want to believe it's strategic, but it's going to tie out to what the question here, ladies and gentlemen. So if Kalonzo is picked, because for me, if you ask me, and I think now I can bet that there is a high likelihood of Kalonzo deputizing Raila Odinga. That is there. It is on table. And just look at even the demand that he was putting and the 2017 document and all that. The least he would go for is that position. And maybe Jubilee might have changed their position. Actually, remember, Murad is saying that it is not a must that running mate comes from central Kenya. So I want us to look at really the arithmetic of this and the impact in the event that Kalonzo Musyoka deputizes Raila Odinga. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to humbly request you to subscribe to our channel and also kindly like our video. When you like our video, it will be suggested to many people and it actually increases the ratings of the channel. And give us your feedback here on the likelihood of Kalonzo deputizing Raila Odinga. What are you feeling about this? The question that everyone asks, I think even when I mentioned is asking is, is it a winning arithmetic? I want to give my own hypothesis. I mentioned in this channel that for Raila to win the August 9th general election, first he needs to maintain the 6 million, the voting block of 2013 and 2017. So what you need to ask yourself is, in 2022 he has lost Musalia and Wetangula, but in 2013 he didn't have Musalia, he had Wetangula. But then in 2022, now it is a replica of 2013, but he still garnered the substantive number of votes. And I think I don't want to go to figures because someone will tell me that they were disputed. Yeah. So the 2022 matrix will be, you maintain the 6 million, then add the percentage from Central Kenya. The people that have argued that Raila needs 30% from Central Kenya, if the Central Kenya vote are 5 million, and with a turnout of I think 4 million or so, so at 30% of that will be around 1.5. 1.5 will give, if he gathers all, now with the other dynamics, because the millionaires bring everyone on board, maybe gathers around 9 million. 9 million, the person who is going to win this presidency easily must have more than 8.5 million. The voters register has 22 million. If it is cleaned, it is going down a bit. Then with the turnout, my own estimation is someone needs around 8.5 million. Then you can win it round one. But then, let me tell you why, what might be working out here. What these people are feeling is, if you were not going to give Kalonzo the ticket with Raila, maybe the turnout from the Ukambani might have gone down. And the turnout from Central Kenya, because there is a lot of political activity there, the turnout is likely to be high. So even building on the 6 million would have seen the light of the day. So I want to believe that that is it. But again, you know, the Ukambani vote is not only on Ukambani. They are the Kambas are in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in the other parts. So it was a very good strategy to make sure that, again, you're not just convincing the Kambas that are staying in Ukambani, the 3 counties, but again, you make sure that Kilifi, and I'm told Kambas have the number is so high in Voi, Kilifi and Mombasa, you also capture that number around Azimio. So ladies and gentlemen, it is questionable as to whether it will win against the other side if the information that is coming that Ruto is speaking a Runningmate there is something to go by. Another thing that really manifests here is now, I think Kalonzo Musyoka is going to suppress the influence of those 3 governors. Now, this is something that has been worrying the man from Sekuru, because he was insisting that the 3 governors had insisted, that is Mutua, Kivuda Kibwana, and Charity Ngilu, that he is a latecomer in Azimio and so he should be given a backbench. But again, he is the undisputed Kamba kingpin. Now that is a position Kalonzo Musyoka would want to lose anything in this country, but he wouldn't like to lose that position because that is his bargaining power in this country. So one thing that is also going to happen is he's going to suppress the influence of these 3 governors, and this will translate to something very positive, especially in winning the elective seats in that place and even some county seats, a governor seat. So the meeting by the 3 governors was so in tandem with this point because they're now looking for points of convergence and how they can campaign together. Number 3, and this is what I think is going on. If you're keen, I mentioned that Raila is not campaigning in Central Kenya for the last 1 month. The Central Kenya aspirants that have trooped back to Jubilee are not using Raila's, that big R symbol in their posters. In fact, they're not using either Raila or Uhuru's photos in their posters. Now, what that is happening, and I think that is the catch, that if the Central Kenya region was feeling hostile to them simply because of Uhuru, and because Uhuru is in government and things are not going on right, and because Raila has been demonized by William Ruto's side, they were allowed to go and seek those elective seats by their own power and their own might. By the way, the Jubilee have registered 5.3 thousand aspirants there. I still don't understand the magic they used, because they were actually seen as party that is never here nor there. And they smoked out the village parties there, the fringe parties that were in Central Kenya. Now, what I think here is this. The Jubilee wants to, the script to go and pick Kalonzo is one, to make sure that Ukambani Azimio can garner votes in elective seats in Ukambani. And with Jubilee also revived in Central Kenya, they are going to win many MP and elective seats there. Now, when this is done, it is strategically to make sure that Azimio at the end of the day will have strength in both Senate, National Assembly, and county assemblies. So if you would have given the ticket to a running mate from Central Kenya, maybe they're feeling like it, in effect, it would have affected the fellas that are vying for the governors, the Senate, and MP seats there, because of many of them wanted to disassociate from Raila campaigns, or rather the Raila Azimio campaigns. So this is something that was done very strategic to make sure that Kalonzo is given power and is supported fully so that they can win many elective seats there. I don't know whether it is going to play to the advantage of Raila if Raila wins, or it is a deal between Kalonzo and Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm not yet sure. But I think this is something that will work very good. Now, lastly, I think Kalonzo's biggest worry was on Raila's succession. I want to believe that if in 2017, the power agreement was that he was to become the presidential candidate in 2022, what makes me think that he can still be supporting Raila in 2022 and now doesn't talk of 2027. So the talk of 2027 is at the center of this. What this means that if he deputizes Raila, then he is keen into Raila succession. As to whether this is going to maintain date to a general election if Raila wins the polls is something that we are yet to see. But again, you can see that if he's around Raila, he's going to win. He's going to inherit Raila supporters. Two ways. Maybe they go as a deputy again, or they break ranks and Kalonzo goes to the ballot to seek the presidential vote himself in 2027. So I think these are all factors that were there. Kalonzo was also looking at Raila's succession. And one thing he have always been insisting is, as we talk of 2022, let's also talk of 2027. Now, if he deputizes Raila, then I think the deal is Raila to support him in 2027. That is the list that will be there. Ladies and gentlemen, I may be wrong, I may be right, but you can also tell us, what do you think about the scenario that Kalonzo is finally given that ticket with Raila and it ends the speculation there? Jubilee can change. There's a likelihood. If they really pushing for a running mate, we would have even been seeing that running mate, maybe seeing them grooming someone from Central Kenya. But if you look at all this other team, if you look at Martha Karua is more towards Raila, so it's at Raila's discretion to choose her, even the same way with Peter Kenneth. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. That's my analysis.